तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome back to the Friday and Saturday series on the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Rūpa Goswami, Śikṣā. We are concluding the last theme which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught in synopsis to Rūpa Goswami, that is the qualities of the five transcendental rasas, Mukhya rasas. In the last class, we discussed Shantras, two qualities. Anyone remembers what are the two qualities which are there in the Shantras? Anyone remembers can raise their hand. What are the two qualities in Shantras? Parth Sarthi, can you try?
No, Prabhuji, I have to recall. I'm sorry.
Yeah, to recall, na? Anyone else remembers which are the two qualities which are there in Shantras? Okay, one is complete detachment from matter and attachment to, spiritual, that is Krishna. So these are the two qualities. So we had been studying this quite in detail of Shantras in the last class, if you remember. So today we will go to the next. This is the verse. And then this is the Samata. Samata means equanimity. He has controlled his senses and mind. He is self-realized. And then Prabhupada mentions about how to attain this level, very deep purport, and we discussed this purport quite elaborately, if you remember. So this quality, what is there in the Shantras, of where there is complete control of the mind and senses, this refers to the Sthita Pragya stage, which is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita in the 2nd chapter, the symptoms of one who is a Sthita Pragya. 2.55 to 2.72. By doing Nishkam Karma Yoga, when one becomes self-realized, he has just realized the self. That is the Sthita Pragya stage. And in the Bhakti stages, beginning from Shraddha to Prema, it refers for us the stage of Nishtha. That also we discussed yesterday, means the last class, quite elaborately. And the symptoms were given. Now, these are the two qualities in Shantras. Now, we will go to Dasiras. Text 219. Kevala Swarupa Jnana Hoya Shanta Rase Purna Ishwarya Prabhu Jnana Dhika Hoya Dase. Kevala Swarupa Jnana. On the platform of Shantras, one realizes only his constitutional position. Now, this for the Nishkama Karma Yoga refers to I am Atma. But for devotees who are practicing Bhakti Yoga, it refers to not only they realize that I am Atma, but I am the servant of Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna. And there is further development of that Swarupa in the form of development of the spiritual body by practicing Raganuga Bhakti, where he might be attracted to the devotees in the Golok Vrindavan in Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya or Madhurya, and he follows in their footsteps. So that's how the difference between the two is. But when one is raised to the platform of Dasirasa, he better understands the full opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purna Ishwarya Prabhu Gyan. Prabhu here refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Adhika Hoya Dasa. He has more knowledge about the Aishwarya Gyan of the Lord. Ishwara Jnana Sambrama Gaurava Prachura Seva Kari Krishne Sukha Deya Nirantar. On the Dasya Ras platform, knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is revealed with awe and reverence. By rendering service unto Lord Krishna, the devotee in Dasya Ras gives constant happiness to the Lord. So, Seva Kari Krishna Sukha De Nirantar. But there is Aishwarya Gyan. Shantira Guna Dasyache Adhika Sevana Ataeva Dasya Rasara Eidui Guna. The qualities of Shantras are also present in Dasiras, but service is added. There in the Shantras, there is no service. There is just adoration. Oh, the Lord is the Virat Purusha. He is the controller of this universe. Just adoration. But with further development in the Dasirasa, oh, the Lord is so great. I'm so insignificant. I should serve the Lord. So the Seva Bhav is there in Dasiras. So service is added. Thus, the Dasya platform contains the qualities of both Shantras and Dasiras. So in the Dasya platform, there are qualities of Shantras, plus an additional quality in Dasiras is that service is added. Shantera Guna Dasyara Sevan Sakya Dui Hoy Dasyara Sambrama Gaurava Seva Sakya Vishwasamay. The qualities of Shantras and the service of Dasiras are both present on the platform of Sakyaras. Now Sakyaras is being discussed. On the platform of fraternity, that is Sakyaras, the qualities of Dasyaras are mixed with the confidence of fraternity instead of awe and reverence, awe and veneration. Now, here is a very important point to be noted, that in Sakyaras, there is the confidence, Vishwasamai. Krishna is my friend. Krishna is my friend. So that kind of an intimacy, more intimacy is there instead of awe and veneration. So that is the additional quality which is there in Sakyaras. Now, if you remember, we had discussed two types of Sakyaras. One which is with awe and veneration, one which is without awe and veneration. Anyone knows the terms which are used in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of the two types of Sakyaras? Anyone else? Yes, Parsarthi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat. Gaurav Sakyaras and Vishramba Sakyaras.
Gaurav Sakyaras and Vishramba Sakyaras. So Gaurav Sakyaras is found where?
Gaurav Sakyaras is with awe and veneration. Vishramba Sakyaras is
but where it is found? Where it is found? In which region of the spiritual world?
Like between Arjun and Krishna, and in the Vaikunta planet.
Yes, it is mostly in the Vaikunta planets. So in the Vaikunta planets, this Gaurav Sakyaras is there. In fact, it is mentioned that in Vaikunta there are only 2.5 rasas. How many rasas? 2.5. 2.5. So there are 2.5 rasas. So anyone knows which are the 2.5 rasas? Can raise their hand. Which are the 2.5 rasas? I would like to others also see, or I'll have to ask them. Vikram.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Yes.
Prabhuji, one is that what we recently said, Gaura Sakyaras would be there. And another is the reverence. I don't know properly what in Hindi is called. Awe and reverence.
Awe and reverence is just Aishwarya Bhav. But what is the rasa? Dasyaras.
Yes, Dasyaras.
And then Shantras. So Shantras is prominent. Dasyaras is prominent. The half is Gaurav Sakyaras. There is also Madhuri Ras there. But it is with lot, awe and reverence, and there is no intimacy. With, Lakshmi and Narayan, there is. Now, have you visited the South India temples? If you have visited South India, especially the Sri Vaishnava temples, many of the temples have only the Narayan form as a deity. And many of the temples also in the South India will find that there is a separate temple of Narayan and there is a separate temple of Lakshmi. How many of you have observed this? Raise your hands. Only one. Many here are from South India and India. So this is, you can see it, the Lakshmi temple will be separate, and then the Narayan temple will be separate. So there is also in one way, there is Madhuri Ras, but it is, there is not much intimacy there. It is lot of, more of, even Lakshmi Ji is massaging the feet of Narayan. So more Dasya mood is there. So this is how it is. And between Vaikunta and is the sunlight which is coming from here. That's why it's become more bright. Okay, that doesn't matter. So between Vaikunta and Golok Vrindavan, there is another loka where the development of this rasa is a little more, you can say. Which is that dham? I want to know. Anyone else? Yes, Partha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ayodhya Dham and Dwarka
Yes,
Dham.
excellent. Ayodhya Dham. Ayodhya Dham. So Ayodhya Dham, the development of rasa is more little. The dasya is more intimate there, a little more intimate. Again, there is awe and reverence. Hanuman, at least once, he was able to hug Lord Ram, and he was feeling uncomfortable that Lord Ram has hugged him. So, and then there is a little more intimacy in the Madhurya also, Sita Ram. But again, there is, that's why Ram is called as Maryada Purushottam. So then in the Golok planet, there is again gradation. The gradation is Dwarka and Mathura. And then ultimately, these are both again in Aishwarya Bhav. But again, there is difference because there is Madhurya there also. Madhurya is there deeper. But Aishwarya is there. Tinge of Aishwarya is there. And we have seen that Devaki and Vasudev's love for Krishna and Mother Yashoda and Nandmara, there is difference. We have seen that. So, and then ultimately within Dwarka, Mathura, then the highest is Golok, Vrindavan, where there is only Madhurya, only Kevala. Kevala means, attachment to Krishna without any awe and reverence. So the point here is that the Sakyaras, there is Vishramba Sakyaras. So here the verse is quoted, Kande chade, Kande chadiya, Kare kridarana, Krishna seve, Krishna karaya, apana sevana. On the Sakyaras platform, the devotee sometimes offers the Lord's service and sometimes make Krishna serve him in exchange. In their mock fighting, the cowherd boys would sometimes climb on Krishna's shoulders and sometimes they would climb and they would make Krishna climb on their shoulders. So this is the intimacy in Sakyaras, which is found only in Vrindavan, in Braj. So nobody can think of climbing over Narayan or even Krishna and Dwarka. So this is the intimacy which only the Brajvasis, Krishna's friends, Sridhama, Sudhama, Subal have this. Vishramba Pradana Sakya Gaurava Samrahina Ataeva Sakya Rasera Tina Guna Chinna. Awe and veneration is absent on the platform of fraternity. Vishramba Pradhana Sakya Gaurava Samrama Hina. In Samrama there is awe and reverence, awe and veneration. But in Vishrama Sakya there is no awe and veneration. Since this rasa is predominated by confidential service, Vishwasamai, as that term was used. Therefore, Sakya Ras is characterized by the qualities of three rasas. So in Sakya Ras, there is Shanta, there is Dasya, servitude, and with that, there is another quality, that is Vishwas, confidential service. Mamatadika Krishna Atma Samagyan Ataiva Sakyarasira Vasha Bhagavan. On the platform of Sakyaras, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is controlled by the devotees who are intimate with him and think themselves equal to him. Mamata Adik, because there is a lot of mamata. And that is why Krishna Atma Samagyan, they think equal themselves to Krishna. And this kind of intimate service controls even Bhagavan. The Lord is controlled by his devotees. Vatsalle Shante Raguna Dasyara sevana, sei sevanera, ihan namapalana. On the platform of parental love, the qualities of Shant, Dasya, Sakya are transformed into a form of service called maintenance. Palan. Prabhupada is calling it Palan as maintenance. You cannot find an exact English equivalent to the Sanskrit terms. Prabhupada is using what is devotees and people in general can connect. So he's using it as maintenance. Sakyara guna asankocha agaurava sara mamata adike tadana harsana vyavahar. So what is this characteristic of Palan? What are the symptoms? The essence of paternal love is intimacy devoid of the formality of veneration found in Dasiras. Asankocha, agaurava, sar, due to a greater sense of intimacy. Mamata adhika, adhika mamata. The devotee functioning in parental love chastises, tadan, rebukes, bharsan, the Lord in an ordinary way. So in the Damodar Leela, after Krishna was bound ultimately by Mother Yashoda's devotion, Bhakti Bhadam, and then Krishna was crying. So when Krishna was crying there, initially all his friends were feeling bad for him. Balram came. And Balram saw, my brother Krishna is being tied. Who is Krishna? He is the Supreme Personality. How dare? Who could do this? No, I am Balram, I am Sankarshan, I am Ananta. He started shouting. The Yashoda said, all the avatars had to take incarnation in my house. Get lost from here. So Balram got scared and ran away. So this is Tadan, Bharsan, Vyavahar. Because this is the kind of intimacy when one is in Vatsalya Ras, doing Palan of the Lord. Apanare palaka jnana, Krishne palya jnana, chari gune vatsalya ras, amrita saman. On the platform of parental love, the devotee considers himself the Lord's maintainer. Krishna himself completely feels dependent on his devotee to be maintained. Thus the Lord is the object of maintenance, like a son, and therefore this mellow is full of qualities of 4 rasas, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya and Vatsalya. This is more transcendental nectar, Amrita Saman. Now Prabhupada, after these 3 qualities of Dasya, Sakya and Vatsalya, all these verses, for all these verses which we read in the Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta, Prabhupada, everything he summarizes in this purport. So let us look into this purport. If you have any questions also, you can always raise your hands. In the Amrit Prabhava Bhashya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a short summary of this complicated description of the different rasas. Prabhupada says it is a complicated description. Of course, when we study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, especially the southern division, and understand this whole science of rasa, then it becomes very interesting. And in fact, a devotee can live a life of rasa. He just can live a life of rasa once he understands the southern division. And we soon plan to start the southern division of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. For those who have completed studying the eastern division, either the Bhakti Shastri or those who have studied thoroughly the eastern division, we will begin the southern division very soon. And that time we will study this whole science of rasa. He states that by becoming firmly fixed in the Lord's service, one is devoid of all material desires. This is Shanta platform. These are the 2 qualities, transcendental qualities on the Shantaras platform. he is devoid of all material desires. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. Atmanneva atmana tushta tasya pragya pratishtita. 2.55. The symptom of a self-realized soul is there. So this is what, is the quality in the Shantras. Just as sound vibration is found in all the material elements, these two qualities of Shantras are spread throughout all the other transcendental mellows, which is known as Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Although in Shantras there is attachment for Krishna in awe and veneration, since the two valuable transcendental qualities of this rasa are attachment to Krishna and detachment from material desires, nonetheless, the sense of intimacy is lacking. It cannot go near to the Lord to serve the Lord in Dasiras, because that is the awe and veneration. The awe and veneration is too high, which blocks him to go near to the Lord to serve him. In Dasirasa, the awe and veneration is there, but it is less in the sense that it allows the devotee to go near to serve him. In Sakya, Gaurav, the awe and veneration still reduces, so the devotee is more nearer to the Lord, like Arjun of Kurukshetra. But in Golok, there is absolutely Sambramahina. There is no awe and veneration, and that's why there is equality. And the Sakas of Krishna can climb on Krishna, Skande Arohana, they can climb on Krishna. And in Vatsalya, the awe and veneration is not at all present, but the sense of intimacy becomes more deeper. And in Madhurya, the sense of intimacy is the deepest. The reason for this is that in Shantras, attachment for impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma is prominent. So why this sense of intimacy is lacking? Prabhupada is giving the reason. Because attachment to impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma. That is because, that's why Bhagwan is a person. And there can be service only rendered to a person, not to something impersonal. In other words, the sense of intimacy by which one thinks of Krishna as one's only shelter and friend is absent in Shantras, because one accepts Krishna as the impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma. This understanding is based on the speculative knowledge of the Jnani. However, when this knowledge is further developed, one is convinced that the Paramatma, the Supreme Lord, is the master and the living entity is eternal servant. So the Lord is master, I am his servant, Das. So the Dasirasa begins. One then attains a platform of Dasiras. So just to give you a hint of this transition of Shanta to Dasya, it is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Anyone knows where it is there in the Bhagavad Gita? In which chapter of the Bhagavad Gita and which verse of the Bhagavad Gita? Anyone would like to guess where in the Bhagavad Gita the transition from Shanta to Dasya for Paramatma or a Jnani is there? Who would like to try? Who would like to try? Anyone would like to try? Which chapter of the Bhagavad Gita at least? Which chapter of the Bhagavad Gita? Chapter 11. No. Okay, I'll show the verse then. So here is the verse. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mahi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. One who sees me everywhere. Sarvam cha mahi pashyati. Everywhere he sees me. Tasyaham na pranashyami. I am not lost to him. Sachamena pranashyati. He is not lost to me. So this is the vision of the Paramatma as everywhere. So here pranashyati means that he sees me, I see him. That's it. Now two people are seeing each other. That's it. Nothing more. But here the further development, this is more in the Shantras. But further here, text 31, Sarva Bhuta Stitam Yomam Bhajatya Ekatvam Astitah Sarvata Vartamanopi Sayogi Mai Vartate. Sarva Bhutastam, situated in everyone's heart, Yah, he, Mam, me, Bhajate. Bhajati here is very important term. This yogi now, he serves in devotional service. Prabhupada not only says serves in devotional service. So this is more like a devotional Ashtanga Yoga. Ekatvam. Ekatvam means it's not like, Mayavad conception of Ekatvam. Ekatvam here means that I am also spiritual, the Lord is also spiritual. Asita, Sarvata, in all respects. Vartamana, being situated api, sa yogi, mai vartate. Such a yogi who engages in the worshipable service of the super soul, knowing that I and super soul, knowing that I and the super soul within all creatures are one. Prabhupada is giving a deeper understanding of Ekatvam, that I, because here the term used is mam. Mam means a person. And this I, Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, I, Sarva Bhutastam, I am in all living beings. So this is how a Ashtanga yogi becomes a Bhakti yogi. Ashtanga yogi, the transition of Ashtanga yogi to a Bhakti yogi, that in all living beings, that super soul is Krishna. Mam is here, okay? I and the super soul within all creatures are one, remains always in me in all circumstances. So Prabhupada in the purport is mentioning about it, and it's very clear here. So this is the transition I wanted to show, that one attains the Dasya platform when there is service, So he accepts the Lord as master and the living entity as servant. In Dasyaras, the Lord is accepted with awe and veneration. Thus, the active service that is absent in Shantras becomes prominent in Dasyaras. The active service is absent in Shantras, but it becomes prominent in Dasyaras. In other words, in Dasyaras, the qualities of Shantras are present, and service also becomes predominantly visible. Similarly, when this same rasa is developed into fraternity sakras, a friendly intimacy is added. There is no awe and veneration in sakyaras. This is especially in case of Sambrama sakyaras. In Gaurav sakyaras, there is awe and veneration. Therefore, sakyaras is invested with the qualities of three rasas, Shanta, Dasya, and Sakya. Similarly, on the platform of parental love, the qualities of Shanta, Dasya, and Sakya are fully developed in another form, the sense of maintaining the Lord, Palan. Therefore, on the platform of paternal love, there exists a combination of qualities of four transcendental mellows, Shanta, Das, Sakya, and Vatsalya. The mellow of parenthood puts the devotee in the position of a maintainer. Indeed, without formality, the devotee takes the position of maintainer and regards the Lord as the object of maintenance. Mother Yashoda thinks, if I don't feed my Krishna, he's hungry, he's weak. So that's how she feels. I will take the questions after finishing this purport. Thus, on the platform of parental love, sorry, the qualities of four transcendental mellows of love of Krishna are present. Yes, somebody had a question here. Any questions? Yes, Parthasarthi Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Vishramba Sakyaras is also known as Sambrahma Sakyaras.
Vishramba Sakyaras is also known as Sambrahma Sakyaras.
I'm asking.
No, there are only two types of Sakyaras. One is Gaurav Sakyaras, other is Vishramba Sakyaras. So I'll have to find out what exactly the Sanskrit meaning of Sambrahmahina is there. 1 minute. Sambrahmahini. Sambrahma means I'll have to find out. Let me check 1 second. 224 Madhya Leela. Madhya Leela 224 19. No, it is actually Vishramba Sambrahma and Gaurav Sambrahma. The term used here in the commentary is Vishramba Sakyaras is there and Gaurav Sakyara, but Gaurav Sambrahma. Sambrahma means awe and veneration. That's what it is mentioned. Gaurav Sambrahma. So there is only two, that is Vishramba and Gaurav, and Sambrahma is there. It is a compound word. I don't know the meaning, so I cannot speak anything much about it. But if you remember these two, Vishramba and Gaurav. Gaurav means, there is Gaurav, awe and veneration. Vishramba means there is intimacy. Is it clear, Prabhuji? Yeah. Narmada Mataji has a question. Yes, Mataji. You have to unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I think the meaning is Sambrahma is Ashcharya, surprise. When we are
Okay, I'll have to find out. I cannot speculate about it. I'll have to find out. Virendra Yadav Prabhuji, you have any question?
You showed these two verses, 6.3 and 6.31. Now this transition from Sant to Dasiras, is it because of association of devotee of that person who is practicing Jnana Yoga?
Yeah, definitely. Be it Ashtanga Yogi or Jnana Yogi, until he comes to the association of devotee, this knowledge of the absolute truth as Bhagavan is not revealed. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sahamatma sudurlabha. This Bahunam janmanante, the Jnani keeps on continuing the Jnana path until he comes in association of devotees. So similarly also, for the Ashtanga Yogi, by coming in touch with the devotee, or sometimes the Lord can also reveal as a Chaitya Guru in the heart, and he might have this realization, but ultimately he has to come in the association of devotees to take up to the path of Bhakti Yoga. I hope it is clear. Okay, so let us go further now. We have finished this purport.
Yes, true. Yes. Thank you.
So 4 qualities are there. Okay, now next verse 229. Se amritanande bhakta saha gubena apane Krishna bhakta vashaguna kahe aishwarya gyani gane. The exchange of spiritual happiness between Krishna and his devotee, in which Krishna is controlled by his devotees, compared to an ocean of nectar. Say Amritananda. Bhakta saha duba apane. Krishna also drowns in it, and the devotee also drowns in it. Iti driksvalila virananda kunde. This is there in the Damodarashtam 3rd verse. Iti drik. By performing such wonderful pastime, Ananda Kunde, Krishna drowns his Brajbasis in the Ananda Kunda, and he himself also drowns, in which the devotee and Krishna plunge. Ananda Kunde. This is the verdict of learned scholars who appreciate Krishna's opulence. Aishwarya Gyani Gane. Aishwarya Gyani, they say, Iti driksvalila berananda kunde swagosham nimajantam akhyapayantam tadiyeshu tagyeshur bhakti jitatvam puna prematastam shatavriti vande. Tadiyeshu tagyeshu. Krishna is declaring those, Gyanis. The Gyanis here refer now to not only the Gyanis who are in the Gyan path, the Gyanis also refers to those who have knowledge about Bhagavad Gyan, who are practicing Bhakti in the Vidhi Marg. They are also having knowledge and opulence of Krishna. They have this, attachment, Aishwarya Gyan. They have Aishwarya. They are devotees. Maybe the devotees in Vaikuntha or devotees in Dwarka or Mathura, whatever it is. They have this knowledge. So for them also he is declaring that I am controlled only by Prema Bhakti, Braj Bhakti, not otherwise. Oh, this is the verse. I did not know that. Iti driksvalila verananda kunde swagosham nimajantam akhyapayantam tadiyeshigeshu bhaktirjitatvam puna prematastam shatavriti vande. Again, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Satavriti vande. O my Lord, I offer my obeisances hundreds and thousands of times with all affection. Sata vritti, sata means hundreds and thousands of times. There is no number here. Because by your personal pastimes, you plunge the gopis into an ocean of nectar. Swalilabir ananda kunde. Appreciating your opulence, devotees generally declare that you are always subjugated by their feelings. Tadiyeshu yeshu bhaktir jitatvam. This verse is found in Damodarashtakam in the Padma Puran. Now the last rasa, Madhurya Ras, 231. Madhurya Rase Krishna Nishta Seva Atishay Sankera Sakyera Asankocha Lalana Mamta Adikhoy. On the platform of conjugal love, attachment for Krishna, rendering service unto him, and relaxed feelings of fraternity and feelings of maintenance all increase in intimacy. So the sense of intimacy is still deeper. Kanta bhave nijanga diya karena sevan ataeva madhurya rasarhaya panchaguna. So now a hint of what that sense of intimacy is given. On the platform of conjugal love, the devotee offers his body in the service of the Lord. Kanta bhave nij anga diya karena sevan. Thus, on this platform, the transcendental qualities of 5 rasas are present. Prabhupada purport. Attachment for Krishna in Shantras, rendering service to the Lord in Dasiras, rendering relaxed service in fraternity, Sakyaras, and serving in parental love with feelings of maintenance all combine on the platform of conjugal love when the devotee wants to serve the Lord by offering him his personal body, Nija Anga. Thus, the qualities of other rasas combine to form the nectar of conjugal love. On this platform, all the different feelings of the devotee are mulgated. So, in Madhya you are able to relish Vatsalya, Dasya, Sakya, Shant. But those who are in Dasya cannot relish Sakya and Vatsalya or Madhurya. Those who are in Sakya Ras cannot relish Madhurya and Vatsalya. Those who are in Vatsalya Ras cannot relish Madhurya, but they can relish Sakya, Dasya and Santa. I hope you are following. Now the analogy is given to understand this. Akashadi gunayena para para bhute ekadui tina chari krame pancha prithvite. All the material qualities evolve one after another in the material elements, beginning from ether, akash. By gradual evolution, first one quality develops, that is ether. Then two qualities develop. After ether is what? There is air. Then three. Then there is water. Then four. There is fire. And then there is earth. Until all the five qualities are found. So sound is there in ether. And then sound is also present in air. You can hear the air sound. Sound travels to air also. Sound is also present in water. The waves of the water, you can hear that sound. Sound is also present in fire. When there is a fire lit, chit, 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 the burning of the some types of cracks you can hear. And sound is present in earth. Any metal you take and bang it, you can hear it. So all these qualities are present. Eimata madhurya saba bhava samahara ataeva aswadik adike kare chamatkar. Similarly, on the platform of conjugal love, all the feelings of the devotees are amalgamated. The intensified taste is certainly wonderful. Chamatkar. Ei bhakta rasera karilan digdarshana ihara vistara mane karya bhavana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then concluded, I have simply given a general survey describing the mellows of devotional service. Digdarshan. Dig means, a decay. In Bengali, where is the temple? A decay. The temple is in this direction. So just a general, direction is given. So similarly, I've just given you a general survey of the mellows of devotional service. You can consider how to adjust and expand this. Ihara vistar mane kari bhavana. So Rūpa Goswami has expanded this just summary or gist in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and we should study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, now the last theme we are coming to in this Rūpa Śikṣā, that is conclusion 235 and 236, last two verses. I think now we were just referring to 35 verse. Yeah, 235, 236. Ei bhakti rasera karilantikadha. I finished this. 236 also we finished. Bhavite bhavite Krishna spure antare Krishna kripaya agya paye rasa sindhu pare. One who thinks of Krishna constantly. Bhavite bhavite Krishna. Sada tad bhava bhavita. Yam yam vapi smaran pavam tajantante kalevaram. Tam tam eveti kaunteya. Sadha tad bhava bhavita. Oh, the video got off. I don't know how. It's wrong. Just a minute. Yeah. Sorry. Bhavite bhavite. That means constantly thinking of Krishna. I was referring to this verse. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tejantente kalevram tam tam eveti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. So that same term is there. So that's why Prabhupada termed or gave the acronym to the society as ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. To means to always think of Krishna. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati. This is the verse in the Ramanand Śikṣā it comes. And Prabhupada took this from there and termed this English phrase ISKCON. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati. Krishna Bhakti Rasa, one who is absorbed in the Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati. His Mati is filled with this Bhakti Ras, constantly thinking of Krishna. Love for him manifest within the heart. Krishna Spure Antara. Even though one may be ignorant, Agya, one can reach the far shore of the ocean of transcendental love by Lord Krishna's mercy. Krishna Kripaye Paye Rasa Sindhu Pare. So we are actually drowned in the ocean of a Bhavasagar now. Bhavasagar. From this Bhavasagar, we have to drown ourselves in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the ocean of nectar of rasa, in the form of these four rasas, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya, and especially Madhurya, which Mahaprabhu has come to give. Drown ourselves in this Bhakti Rasa. We can drown ourselves by studying these Bhakti Shastras, Bhakti Rasa Shastras. Eta boli Prabhu Tanra, Kaila Alingan, Varanasi Chalibar, Prabhu Rahailaman. Now, after this Rūpa Śikṣā conclusion, what are the events which happen? Is narrated in few verses. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Srila Rūpa Goswami. Kaila Alingan. Eta boli, after saying this, Prabhu Kaila Alingan. The Lord then decided to go to the city of Banaras. So this conversation happened in Prayag, in the Dashashwamedh Ghat, and from there, the Lord went to Kashi. Kashi is Banaras. Prabhate uthiya yabe karila gaman, tabe tandra pade rupa kare nivedan. The next morning, Prabhate, Prabha means, what does Prabha mean here? Anyone? What does Prabha mean here? Anyone? Yes. Amal Bhakti Rani Mataji.
Morning, Prabhuji.
How Prabha is morning?
Prabha.
You're correct, but how it is? Can you think about the term Prabha?
Prabha.
Virendra Yadav Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, it means light. It means light.
Yes, yes.
So it is starting of light. That's how it starts with
Prabha. Pra is a prefix. Prabha. So another name of sun is also Prabha. The sun is also called as Bhaskar. Bhaskar, Prabha, Surya. There are so many, different names for the sun which have been used. Yasya Prabha, Prabhavathol, Jagadanda Koti. The Prabha, that Kanti coming from the Lord's body, the Brahma Jyoti, Prabhate. Next morning, Uthiya, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arose and prepared to leave for Varanasi, Banaras, Karila Gaman, Srila Rupa Goswami submitted the following statement at the Lord's lotus feet. Tabe Tandra Pade Rup Kare Nivedan. What was the Nivedan? Let us see in the next verse. Agya hai Asi Muni Shri Charana Sange Sahite na Pare Muni Mui Virata Range. If you give me permission, Agya hai. See the humility of Rupa Goswami. If you give me permission, it's not that, oh, I'm going to come with you. He's not ordering. Is asking permission. I shall go with your lordship. Asi Muni Shri Charana Sange. It is not possible for me, Sahite na pare, to tolerate the waves of separation. Muhi Viraha Tarange. Prabhu kahe tumara kartavya, amara vachan, nikate asiyache tumi, yae Vrindavan. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, Prabhu kahe, your duty is to carry out my order. Tumara kartavya amara vachan. So I have given you an instruction that you go to Vrindavan and establish the lost places of Krishna's pastime, write bhakti literatures and propagate the bhakti literatures and establish temples. You have come near Vrindavan. Yaya Vrindavan. Now you should go there. Nikate Asya Chetumi, Yaya Vrindavan. Yaya means you go there now. Vrindavan haite tumi Gauda Desha diya Amara miliba Nila chalete Asya. Later, you can go from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri through Bengal. Gauda Desha diya Vrindavan haite tumi. There you will meet me again. Amara milibe Nila chate Asya. So there is the second meeting which happens of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami. And that is discussed, anyone knows where? Let us see. Anyone knows where it is discussed? Anyone knows? It is there in the Antilila. The meeting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami from Vrindavan goes to Jagannath Puri, and he is again accompanied by Anupam, but Anupam leaves the world, and there Rupa Goswami stays for a long time, and there are very beautiful intimate exchanges which happen with Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami and with other Vaishnavas. Rupa Goswami staying in the Bhajan Kutir of Haridas Thakur. And then the wonderful pastimes happen there of how in the Rath Yatra Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is singing this love song and nobody is able to understand except Sarup Damodar. And Rupa Goswami, understanding the mood of Mahaprabhu, he composes another verse, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is astonished. How did he know my heart? And because he had got the mercy. And then Rupa Goswami, in fact, had planned to compose a drama. And then in Satyabhama Pura, Satyabhama appeared in the dream and told to separate these two dramas, one completely focusing on Vrindavan pastimes, one on Dwarka. So the Lalit Madhav and the Vidak Madhav he had composed, and there that assembly of Rai Ramanand, Sarup Damodar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur, these personalities, Rupa Goswami spoke about his compositions, and there is wonderful exchange of the whole science of how poetic compositions are done. So very intimate, loving exchanges between the Lord and his devotees are there in the Antilila. Dadati pratigranati guhyam akhyati prachati bhunte bhojate chaiva shadvidam priti lakshanam. So these intimate exchanges is there, meeting of Rupa Goswami with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meeting of Sanatana Goswami with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is one chapter. Then Haridas Thakur's glories and how he leaves this world. And then like that, there are many chapters in the Antilila. So there is one chapter I'll have to show it since I'm speaking about it. Yeah, it is there in the Antilila. Yes, the first chapter itself. Then there is Haridas Thakur's glory, Sanatana Swami visiting, glories of Ramanand Rai, then meeting with Raghunath Das Goswami. So all the intimate exchanges of the Lord are there. Tandra Alangiya Prabhu, Naukate Chadila, Murchita Hanoteno, Tahana Padila. After embracing Rupa Goswami, Alinga Prabhu, Tandra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got into the boat. Prabhu Naukata Chadila. Rupa Goswami fainted and fell down on the spot. Murchitahan teho tahan padila. Dakshanatya vipratanra gharela nagela tabe dui bhai vrindavana chalila. The Brahmana from Deccan took Rupa Goswami to his home. Thereafter, the two brothers, Rupa and Anupam, departed from Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu chali chali aila Varanasi Chandrasekhara Milia Gramera Bahira Asi. After walking and walking, Mahaprabhu chali chali, yatra they used to do walking. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally arrived at Varanasi, Aila Varanasi, where he met Chandrasekhar Milia, who was coming out of the city. Gramera Bahira Asi. He was coming out of the city, Chandrasekhar Acharya, and he met Mahaprabhu. Ratre teno swapna dekhe, Prabhu aila ghare, pratakale asi rahe, gramera bahire. In a dream, Chandrasekhar had seen that Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come to his home. Prabhu aila ghare. Therefore, in the morning, Chandrasekhar, pratakale asi rahe, gramera bahire, went outside the city to receive the Lord. Achambite Prabhu deki charane padila Anandite Anand Nija Grehe Lana Gela. While Chandrasekhar was waiting outside the city, he suddenly saw Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrive and he fell down at the Lord's feet. Charana Padila. Being very happy, Anandite Han, he took the Lord to his home. Tapana Mishra Shuni Asi Prabhura Milia Ishtagoshti Kari Prabhu Nimantrana Kaila. Tapan Mishra also heard the news of the Lord's arrival in Varanasi. Tapan Mishra Shuni, Asi Prabhu Mila, and he went to Chandrasekhar's house to meet him. After talking, he invited the Lord to take lunch at his place. Ishtagoshti Kari, after talking, Prabhu Nimantran Kaila. Nimantran means he invited him. Now, Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra were the only two Lord devotees who were staying in Varanasi, although Varanasi was the hub of Mayavadis. Tapan Mishra, when actually Mahaprabhu in his Grahastha pastime, when he was married, he had gone to Bangladesh as a teacher to teach in order to earn, maintain his family. And there, Tapan Mishra met the Lord, and the Lord revealed that he is the Supreme and instructed Tapan Mishra to go and settle in Varanasi, and in the future I will meet you. So, although these two eternal associates of the Lord were very unhappy staying in Varanasi because Varanasi was the hub of Mayavadis, but still these two devotees got the full mercy because Mahaprabhu, when he came to Varanasi, he stayed at their house. He stayed in one house, Chandrasekhar Acharya's house, and he took prasadam at the house of Tapan Mishra. So like that, both of them were given the highest mercy. So similarly, if we are told to preach in a place where there are no devotees and we are struggling alone, then the Lord gives more mercy. Nije Garelan Prabhura Bhiksha Karila Bhattacharya Chandrasekhar Nimantrana Kaila. Tapan Mishra took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his house and gave him lunch. Chandrasekhar invited Balabhadra Bhattacharya to take lunch at his home. So Balabhadra Bhattacharya is the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chandrasekhar told him to take. Now, Bhiksha Karana Mishra Kahe Prabhu Paye Dhari Eka Bhiksha Magi Mora Deha Kripa Kari. After offering lunch to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tapan Mishra begged a favor from the Lord and requested him to award his mercy. Bhiksha Karan means Madhukari, to take prasad. Mishra, Tapan Mishra, Kahe Prabhu Payadhari. He held the Lord's feet and he requested, Ek Bhiksha Mangi, I am asking you one benediction. Mora Deha Kripa Kari. Please award this. What was that? Yava tumara hoye kasi pure sthiti, Mora ghar vina bhiksha na karibe kati. Tapan Mishra said, as long as your lordship stays in Varanasi, Yava tumara hoye kashi pure sthiti, please do not accept an invitation from anyone but me. Mora ghara vina bhiksha na kariba pati. Don't take any else prasad. Don't accept any other invitations. This is the love, which the Lord has for his devotee, and the devotee has love for his Lord. So this should not, this personal dealings sometimes should not so much made institutionalized, in the form of rules and regulations. It should be natural, and I'll come to some other deeper reasons why Mahaprabhu only took prasadam at the house of Tapan Mishra. Prabhu janina dina panchasat sehi rahiba sannyasira sangha bhiksha kahan na kariba. It was known to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhu janina, that he would remain there only for 5 to 7 days. Dina panchasata se rahiba. He would not accept any invitation that involved Mayavadi sannyasis. Sannyasira sangha bhiksha kaha na kariba. So Banaras or Varanasi was filled with Mayavadi sannyasis, headed by Prakashanand Saraswati. And if they invite him for another sannyasi to say no, it will be difficult. But if he says, oh, I already have an invitation. So he knew that he would not accept these invitations, and he had a reason, because already Tapan Mishra has told him. Ete jani tanra bhiksha kaila angikar vasanishta kaila chandrasekhara ghara. With this understanding, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed to accept lunch at the place of Tapan Mishra. Bhiksha kaila angikar tanra. The Lord made his residence at the home of Chandrasekhar. Vasanishta, Vasa means to nivas. Nivas is Vas. Kaila Chandrasekhar Ghara, in the house of Chandrasekhar. Now my question to all of you before we end the final session on Rūpa Śikṣā, is it not strange that, some sannyasi comes to your house, he's staying in your house, but he takes prasadam in somebody else's house? How would he feel? Why did Mahaprabhu stay in Chandrasekhar's house and yet take prasadam in Tapan Mishra's house and not in Chandrasekhar Acharya's house? It's a very deep reason, but I would like to hear from the audience. Why is it so? You feel it is something wrong, right? Staying in one devotee's house, a sannyasi, and taking prasadam in another devotee's house. You'd like that the sannyasi would take in my house itself. Why would he do that? What is the reason? Yes, Vikram Singh Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Dandal Pranam. Krishna showed this example in his Krishna Lila also, that food should be taken only at the place where love is there.
What Chandrasekhar did not have love, that is why he is not staying. He was staying there.
He was staying, Prabhuji, but Bhav is different, Prabhuji. He must be having a...
No. This is speculation. Both are eternal associates of the Lord, Chandrasekhar Acharya and Tapan Mishra, and both are pure devotees. But why still the Lord took prasadam at Tapan Mishra's house? One was an external reason to avoid the invitations from the Mayavadi sannyas. There's a deeper reason also. Anyone can think about it. Think. You can speculate, no problem. But sometimes, yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, actually he is giving mercy both of them by leaving, मतलब उनके चरण कमल उनके घर में है, वो उनके मतलब साथ में है तो उनको भी मर्जी मिल गई और प्रसाद उधर जाके उनको भी मर्जी मिल गई. I think that.
Yeah, okay, that is true that to give mercy, but at least one day he could have taken in Chandrasekhar house, na? One day. He'll feel, na? Anyone, suppose, you have a sannyasi in your home and another devotee also has called him to stay there. He says, no, I cannot stay because I've already accepted an invitation to stay here, but I will take prasadam in your house. And then he requests, no, every day you take, but at least one day, one time, let me feed the Lord in my house. You will feel like that. Yes? Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, it may be Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would have wanted to balance the relation between both the devotees. Could be.
Okay. Good. All your thoughts are very good. But the deepest, the real reason is Tapan Mishra was coming from a Brahmana community. And that time, the Varnashram rules were very strict. And Chandrasekhar Acharya was coming from a different community. And a sannyasi, if he takes prasadam there, then what kind of a sannyasi is? He's not maintaining the rules of Varnashram. So the Mayavadis might criticize the Lord for his act. So that is why the Lord, in order to maintain the social norms there, he decided to take prasadam in Tapan Mishra's house. This is the deeper reason. Now, on the other side, when Mahaprabhu reached Mathura and he had the darshan, I think, of the Varadev there in Mathura, and he saw a Brahmana who was chanting in ecstasy, and Mahaprabhu was astonished. And Mahaprabhu was also dancing, and Mahaprabhu asked his introduction, and he said, I am a Sayodhani Brahmana, and I am an initiated disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Now, according to again social norms there, these Sayodhani Brahmanas are not from a higher Brahmanical platform. Even in Brahmanas, there's gradation. So they are not coming from a higher in the Brahmana caste. So the sannyasis were not supposed to take prasadam in their house. In fact, they would give the ingredients to the servant, and the servant who could can have. So they had not the adhikar, in one sense, you can say, to cook and offer prasad to the sannyasis or to the Vaishnavas, in one sense. So Sayodhini Brahmanas were considered lower. But this Sayodhini Brahmana informed the Lord that Madhavendra Puri also had visited Vrindavan and he had accepted the invitation of mine in my house for prasad. So when Mahaprabhu heard that, my spiritual master has taken prasad in your house, so I will also come and take prasadam. So there he neglected that rule of Varnashram. And Mahajanayana Gatastha Panta. He followed that point. So, but here, in order that nobody criticize him, he followed this system that he took in Tapan Mishra's house. And Chandrasekhar Acharya, he is a Maharashtra Brahmana. He is coming from a different background and from a little lower background. Of course, from Vaishnava perspective, there is no consideration of lower and higher, but just to maintain the social norms of the Varnashram so that nobody will criticize him for his conduct. So Mahaprabhu did this act. I hope it is clear. Maharashtriya Viprasi Tanra Milila Prabhu Tanra Sneha Kari Kripa Prakashila. The Maharashtrian Brahman came and the Lord met him out of affection. The Lord bestowed his mercy upon him. So the Lord bestowed mercy upon both of them. Mahaprabhu Aila Shuni Shishta Jan Brahmana Kshatriyasi Karena Darshana. Hearing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come, all the respectable members of the Brahmana and Kshatriya communities came to see him. Shri Rūpa Upare Prabhura Yata Kripa Kahila Atyanta Vistara Kata Sankshipa Kahila. Much mercy was thus bestowed upon Srila Rupa Goswami. Shri Rupa Upare Prabhu Yata Kripa Haila. I have briefly described all these topics. Atyanta Vistar, I have not done Katha Sangshipa Kaila. Shraddha Kari E Katha Shune E Jane Prema Bhakti Paye Se Chaitanya Charane. Whoever hears this narration with faith and love certainly develops love of Godhead at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shraddha Kari, faith and love, Katha Shuni Ejan, Prema Bhakti Pai, you will attain Prema Bhakti. This is the Falashruti. Shri Rūpa Raghunath Pade Yanrash, Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta Kahe, Krishnadas, praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rūpa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. So thus ends the Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta and the Bhaktivedanta purport to the Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta Madhya Leela, 19th chapter describing the Lord's instruction to Srila Rupa Goswami at Prayag on the science of devotional service. So thus ends even our Rūpa Śikṣā discussion today. Thank you very, very, very much. Any questions, any clarifications about that last point? Yes, Partha Sarthi Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question was that this social customs with which sannyasis follow at that time, is it existing even today? Is it prevalent even today?
The Varnashram, that time it was very prominent, and it is there to some degree, especially in South India. It is there. Just to give an example, like Kanchipurna. Kanchipurna was a pure devotee of the Lord. And he was staying in Kanchipuram, and he used to do the chamar to the Lord. And he used to speak to the Lord directly while doing the chamar seva. Such a pure devotee Kanchipurna was. And Ramacharya was coming from a Brahmana community. And in fact, he was staying in Kanchipuram. He was a grahastha at that time. And he also had some questions. He asked Kanchipuram to ask the Lord, and the Lord replied him. So Ramacharya wanted to take sannyas from Kanchipurna. Kanchipurna, although he was a pure devotee of the Lord, but from the Varnashram perspective, he came from a Shudra background. Of course, this consideration is not there, but because he's now pure, he's a Vaishnava, he's transcended Varnashram. But he was coming from a Shudra background. So although Ramacharya, who was coming from a Brahmana community, requested Kanchipurna to give him initiation, Kanchipurna denied it. He did not give the initiation. The only reason was that it will disturb the society where the Varnashram is prevalent. So for that reason, internal reason, Kanchipurna did not accept Ramacharya, who was coming from Brahmana community, as his disciple. So not to disturb the social norms of the Varnashram during that time, he did. So similarly, Mahaprabhu did this in this instance. And it is there to a certain degree. In South India, we see that because the degradation is happening at a very, very fast rate. Even you can say 50, 100 years back, it was very strong. And within the last 50, 100 years, it has degraded to a very high degree, the Varnashram. So you'll have to follow the norms of the social etiquette based on time, place, and circumstances. So what is in today's times, you'll have to look into that and accordingly do it, not to disturb the people in the social community. So that is what you'll have to think and do about it. Like I'll give you a simple example. In India, if a sannyasi is just walking by the road, any person, not any person, those who have faith, seeing such a sannyasi, they might offer obeisances. The devotees seeing sannyasi might offer obeisances right on the middle of the road. Therefore offered dandavats, right? So this is the custom that the sannyasi should be offered respects, dandavats. So what happened is in Australia, one city, one of the sannyasis had gone for a house program. He got down from the car in the road to get into the house. And the devotees who had come down to welcome him, they offered all obeisances to the sannyasi. The people who were walking by, they saw this and they were disturbed. Hey, what is this in the middle of the road? They are doing this. They felt, how can you bow down to someone? They think this is humiliating. So they just cannot understand. And they might become a little negative about the Hare Krishna movement. So the sannyasi, observing this, he requested the devotees after they went for the program that you need not offer obeisances in the public. When based on the situation, again, you need not offer obeisances, but in your heart you can offer. In your heart, who can stop you, right? So that is important, So like that, we'll have to see what are the present norms based on the culture, conditioning, based on the society where we are staying. And accordingly, we have to behave in such a way that we set an example so that others can take up to Krishna consciousness. Okay? Okay, there was another hand which was raised. There was another hand which was raised. Who is it? I think Virendra Yadav Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you can open this verse 236 translation.
36. I'm very happy with Virendra Yadav. He sits with the book while studying, while attending the class. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, in this translation, it is written that even though one may be ignorant, one can reach the far shore of the ocean of transcendental.
Even though one may be ignorant.
Yeah. This Prabhuji, ignorant, if you can amplify, I mean, what you understand by this, even though one may be ignorant.
Ignorance here means, he might be not from a material perspective, having even spiritual perspective, what material perspective means. Having deep knowledge about Krishna Tattva, he might not be an orator, he might not be a kathakar, he might be a simple farmer, but has faith in the holy name, faith in the bhakti process, and is chanting. Prabhupada, see, one not expert in knowledge, but still all this knowledge, will be revealed in the heart for him. He has faith in the holy names. He has faith in the holy names. So this is Shraddha. And this kind of deep Shraddha he is practicing. So he will not be attracted to Maya, and he knows the goal of life. So even for such people, they will able to cross this material ocean and enter into the spiritual ocean of the bhakti ras. So that's the meaning.
Got the point. Got the point. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions, clarifications? Okay. Thank you very much. Shri Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Kaviraj Das Goswami ki jai, Srila Rūpa Goswami ki